Hello and a very good morning to all our viewers out there. You're watching the morning news at CNN News 18 and I'm Shriya Kundu, here to take you through all the top stories for the day from across the nation and around the world. And well, as we talk about around the world and across the nation, it's a big week for India as we have our G20 summit, the G20 tourism meet in Jammu and Kashmir, wherein the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is all set to host the third G20 tourism meet in Srinagar. It will be held from today till May 24th at Srinagar Sher-e-Kashmir International Conference Centre. Significantly, this is the first major international event that is being held in Kashmir Valley since the abrogation of the Article 370 in August 2019. Now, Srinagar is all decked up to host the international delegates and security has been beefed up on the ground. Now, this meeting comes amid Pakistan's push among the Organization of Islamic Countries to boycott the event and China's opposition to holding meetings in what it calls disputed areas.
The stage is set and all the excitement among tourism stakeholders can be seen in Kashmir. Behind me, you can see this is the venue where the meeting will be held, and this is being decorated. The trials are running and security measures are in full place. Behind is these massive mountain range in Srinagar and the Dal Lake. It's a very beautiful location to host G20 tourism-related meeting. We have seen that government wants to focus on bringing that tourism back to Valley. Over there, my Vijay Bashirlon will show you that there are places where craft and art of Kashmir will be showcased to the delegates. That what is the art and craft and culture of Kashmir, and that brief will be given there. And this is an area where government wants to focus on trying to have more tourists, trying to have more people on the ground, so that not only the film culture but also government wants to trust on a film policy that can be drafted so that people can come once again to Kashmir, not only shoot their movies but also international tourism also revives in Kashmir Valley.
The shikaras are ready, the snow-clad mountains are shining. Srinagar is all set to welcome the G20 delegates. This is a crucial meeting of the working group, and Indian government is trying to emphasize that it's all good in Jammu and Kashmir, even though Pakistan has repeatedly tried to raise the bogey of instability and this being a disputed territory. Pakistan's all-weather ally, China, has once again raised objection, saying that this is a disputed territory, so therefore they will not participate in this working group meeting. But as far as the motive of bringing in tourists are concerned, you can see the Dal Jheel is packed with tourists, mostly domestic tourists. The G20 is also a major push that Indian government and the Ministry of Tourism and Culture is giving to ensure that other than the domestic tourist circuit, Kashmir also once again becomes a part of the foreign tourist circuit. There are some issues about various governments issuing advisories to their citizens about coming to Kashmir. They're discouraged from coming to Kashmir, and that is something that the industry here is hoping will be reversed.
Is this meeting ensuring that a lot of foreign tourists will come to Kashmir?
Well, from what we can see, the number of tourists in Jammu and Kashmir have hit a new record. In 2022, 1.85 crore tourists came to Jammu and Kashmir. This year, Chief Secretary Jammu and Kashmir has just told us that we intend to exceed a 2 crore number. Now, what we see in Jammu and Kashmir, and especially in Srinagar, is that the capacity is there, the natural beauty is there, culture is there, handicrafts is there, cuisine is there, warmth of the people are there. I have no doubt that the number of tourists will continue to increase. The state also, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has gone out of its way to promote tourism in the state. And I think this is another very important factor. And no doubt that the number of foreign tourists will definitely increase and continue to increase.
How do you see this meeting? Because Kashmir is one such destination in the entire country which offers a spectacle of things. How do you see it in that context?
As I mentioned in the press conference, you cannot have a tourism working group meeting in India and not do it in Jammu and Kashmir. That's why we have come here for the penultimate working group meeting. And this is a very important meeting because next month in Goa, the last working group meeting will be held. The tourism ministers of the G20 countries will meet there. And the declaration that will adopt, the ministerial communique that will emerge from the Goa meeting will be discussed here at Srinagar. The draft with all the member countries, they will offer their suggestions and a final draft will be prepared. So in that context, it's a very important meeting.
International delegates are coming tomorrow. How exciting is it for the government? Because it's Kashmir.
Of course, it's very exciting because, as I said, tourism, you have to do, if you have to do a meeting, you have to do it in Kashmir. And it gives us a sense of pride that we'll be able to showcase the tourism potential, the tourism, the strengths of Jammu and Kashmir to the foreign delegates.
Thank
The key deliverables are that the Goa ministerial declaration and the Goa roadmap that we will, debate on here, because the final meeting of the G20 tourism ministers will take place in Goa in June. And this is the penultimate working group meeting. The fourth meeting will also be in Goa, followed by the ministerial. It's also important because this is the only working group meeting that is happening in Srinagar as part of the G20 effort. And we have seen excellent response from all the member countries, from the invitee countries and from the international organizations. In terms of participation, we have one of the highest numbers that have registered and got accredited to come to attend the working group meeting.
Well, a rather happy and high note to begin the week on, and we shall keep getting you updates from the G20 meet in Srinagar. But for now, let's shift our focus to the international atmosphere, wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Papua New Guinea on Sunday after his Japan visit for the G7 summit. PM Modi received a special welcome at Papua New Guinea on Sunday when he arrived to host the third summit of the Forum for Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation. As a gesture of respect, Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape touched Prime Minister Modi's feet when he landed in the country. Now remember, this is the first visit to Papua New Guinea by any Indian Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister also got a rousing welcome from the Indian diaspora there. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with the Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape and Governor General Sir Bob today.
विश्व कोविड महामारी और अन्य कई कठिन चुनौतियों से गुजरा है। इन चुनौतियों का प्रभाव ग्लोबल साउथ के देशों पर सबसे अधिक पड़ा है। अब नई समस्याएं उत्पन्न हो रही हैं। फूड, फ्यूल, फर्टिलाइजर और फार्मा, इसकी सप्लाई चेन, उसमें भी बाधाएं आ रही हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि भारत इस चुनौतीपूर्ण समय में अपने पैसिफिक आइलैंड मित्रों से कंधा मिलाकर खड़ा रहा। जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा है, मेरे लिए आप लार्ज ओशन कंट्रीज है, स्मॉल आइलैंड स्टेट्स नहीं। आपका यह महासागर ही भारत को आपके साथ जोड़ता है।
Now, CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra spoke to a High Commissioner of Papua New Guinea, Paulius Koroni, about James Marape touching the Prime Minister Modi's feet as a mark of respect. Listen in.
We saw that how Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea gave a very emotional reception to Prime Minister Modi by touching his feet as a remark of respect for Prime Minister Modi. How would you like to react to it? Because in India, it has been received very well, and it also talks about the confidence that nations like Papua New Guinea and in fact the other Pacific nations are showing on Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
Yes, it is our tradition to show emotion to our very best friends, and tears automatically rolls down our eyes. And this is the expression that Prime Minister expressed tonight as Prime Minister set foot on PNG soil. And we are very happy. And it is tears of joy that has moved India, and we are so proud that these tears will move our countries forward.
Ambassador, before 2014, the Pacific Islands were not on the radar of Indian foreign policy makers. After Prime Minister Modi coming to power, the engagements have increased.
Of course, India can play a greater role for the Pacific because Pacific occupies one-third of the world's ocean and land mass. So the people and the islands are small, but India can make an impact. And Prime Minister Modi's trip to the Pacific signals that step in that direction, and we are really joyful that India's look east and act east policy will take footage in the Pacific after the Big Three forum, which starts in Port Moresby tomorrow. And tonight there are 14 Pacific Island countries, head of states here.
बहुत खुश हैं मोदी जी यहाँ पे आए और हम चाह रहे हैं कि पापुआ न्यू गिनी और इंडिया का जो है रिलेशनशिप और बढ़िया हो और इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट में डिजिटलाइजेशन के फ्रंट में इट इज अ ग्रेट अचीवमेंट फॉर अस दैट ही हैज कम वी आर ऑनर्ड प्रिविलेज एंड थैंक यू मोदी जी मजा आ गया यहाँ
we would like to welcome Modi ji to PNG. We love you and we hope that PNG will develop like India. Thank you.
He's a selfless leader. He is a global leader. And his coming to Papua New Guinea is very important for Papua New Guinea also.
We are blessed.
Because we have a lot of Khanij Padarth here. And so we can avail those facilities like gold, petrol, gas. And India can take the capacity building.
मोदी जी जब आए हैं तो यहाँ के लोग में भी इतनी उत्साह हो गई है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर जैसे आपने देखा उनका पैर भी छुए। ये जो इज्जत यहाँ पे है वो इंडिया के लिए है, मोदी जी के कारण है। उन्होंने जिस तरह हमको दिया है ये सम्मान जो हमको मिल रहा है मोदी जी के कारण मिल रहा है।
After engagements in Papua New Guinea, Prime Minister Modi will leave for Australia. CNN News 18's Anand Narsimhan spoke to Australian MP Julian Leeser about PM Modi's upcoming visit. Listen in.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival this time in Sydney just is around the cusp of him completing 9 years in government. Why is it significant for you from an Australian perspective?
Well, it's always very exciting to have Prime Minister Modi here in Australia. As a private citizen, even before I was a Member of Parliament, I went to see him when he came here last time, and it's hard to imagine any other political leader being able to fill a stadium of expats and people who are interested in the relationship, but that's Prime Minister Modi. And I think in that time since his last major visit here to Australia, there has been such a growth in the relationship. I mean, now India is so close to us, whether it's through the Quad, whether it's the free trade deal that we've done, whether it's the comprehensive strategic partnership, whether it's the defence and security relationship. As I've said many times, the Australia-India relationship is an unalloyed good. Having Prime Minister Modi here is a great celebration of that relationship.
CNN News 18's Anand Narsimhan also spoke to Australian MP Andrew Charlton about Prime Minister Modi's visit to Australia. Have a look.
What are the expectations?
Well, it's a very exciting visit for Australia. This is the second time that Prime Minister Modi has been to Australia. And this year, Prime Minister Albanese will travel to India twice during the course of the year. And that speaks to the great state of Australia-India relations and the closeness between our two countries.
There's a big interaction with the Indian diaspora that's being planned at the Kudos Bank Arena. Are you going to be a part of it?
I am, yes. I know the Indian diaspora in Australia is very excited about the visit of the Prime Minister. Australia has a wonderful Indian diaspora of nearly 1 million people in Australia have Indian heritage. That means 1 in every 25 Australians has some Indian heritage, which is an incredible national asset for Australia. And we're very excited about the Prime Minister coming and saying hello to quite a few thousand of them.
So how many people have called you who have never reached out to you in the last few days saying, Andrew, can you find me a seat?
Everybody wants tickets to the Modi event. And I say, look, I can get you tickets to Taylor Swift. I can get you tickets to Harry Styles, but I cannot get you tickets to Narendra Modi. Well, we have a wonderful Indian diaspora in Australia. And the most important thing about Australia is that everybody, no matter what their faith, is able to practice their religion in peace. And there is no place in Australia for religious acts of extremism of any kind.
Now, we're shifting our focus and coming back to India and South India, wherein the Karnataka Legislative Assembly will meet for 3 days starting today. All the 224 newly elected MLAs will administer oath. Sources have told CNN News 18 that the decision to hold session was taken to buy time for the Congress High Command to finalize names for the remaining cabinet berths. The party High Command also wants R.V. Deshpande and T.B. Jayachandra to take up the responsibility of Speaker and Deputy Speaker respectively, but both have eyes set on the cabinet berths. Now, R.V. Deshpande was selected by the Congress party on Saturday as a pro tem Speaker. It remains to be seen who will take the post of Speaker of the Karnataka Assembly. And now quickly we're shifting focus to another important story which is also from Karnataka, but a rather unfortunate one. As heavy rains lashed Bengaluru on Sunday evening, a 22-year-old girl, Bhanu Rekha, lost her life. The family of 5 was travelling from Hyderabad to Bengaluru in a rented car that submerged in the KR underpass amid heavy waterlogging. The emergency response team reached the spot promptly and rescued 5 members of the family and admitted them at the ST Martha Hospital, where Bhanu Rekha unfortunately could not be revived. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah also visited the family at the hospital and announced ₹5 lakh as compensation and free treatment to the rest of the family.
In a sad incident, that 22-year-old girl lost her life. So this is that car in which this whole incident took place. After that, this vehicle that got stuck in the waterlogged underpass in KR Circle. So that you can see in the visual that how it looks like at this point in time, where this 22-year-old girl was sitting in the rear seat. So that's the place where she was exactly sitting. Well, there were also other 5 members in the same car. So many people who did see this particular car getting submerged into the waterlogged underpass. So they tried rescuing these members. So 5 of them were being rescued on the spot. However, the fire and emergency team also reached the spot immediately to take this vehicle out of that waterlogged road. But by then it was really late that the locals who were here could rescue 5 members, but 22-year-old girl couldn't come out of this car, so she got stuck over there. And what we are given to understand from the hospital team is that right after that she was being moved from this particular location to the hospital. She was even more critical, and yes, now she has also been declared dead as well.
ಯಾರು ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು ವಿಜಯವಾಡದವರು ಗಾಡಿನ ಬಾಡಿಗೆಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. They are from Vijayawada, including driver ಸೇರಿ 7 ಜನ ಇದ್ದರು. ಅವರು ಬ್ಯಾರಿಕೇಡ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ಮಳೆ ಬಂದು ಬ್ಯಾರಿಕೇಡ್ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಇವನು ಡ್ರೈವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗದೇ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ವರೆಗೂ ನೀರು ತುಂಬ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಕಾರ್ಗೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಬಾಗಿಲುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವಾಟರ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಗಿಲು ತೆಗೆಯೋಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
A rather tragic incident, but we shall keep tracking the story and more stories. But for now, we shall slip into a quick break. But do stay tuned as we come back here, right here on CNN News 18 on the other side.
महबूबा जी जो पाकिस्तानी एजेंडा है और जिस एजेंडे को सबसे बड़ी डिफीट मिल रही है G20 के साथ, उसको चाहे वो महबूबा मुफ्ती हो, चाहे उमर अब्दुल्ला हो, चाहे फारूक अब्दुल्ला हो, उनकी पूरी कोशिश है कि ये यहाँ सफल ना हो, इसमें कन्फ्यूजन रहे। महबूबा को मैं पूछना चाहूँगा कि जो टूरिज़्म के लिए जो वर्किंग ग्रुप है उसकी बैठक है और कश्मीरियों को इसका फ़ायदा होगा। अगर G20 के जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण देश हैं उनके प्रतिनिधि यहाँ पर आएंगे, वो खुद जो है यहाँ के शांति व्यवस्था देखेंगे, यहाँ की सीनिक ब्यूटी देखेंगे, उससे लाभ कश्मीरियों को होगा। लेकिन जिन कश्मीरियों की आप बात करते हो आप तो उनसे दुश्मनी निभा रही हो.
Mr. Modi landed in Papua New Guinea today and was accorded a ceremonial welcome in the island nation. The Prime Minister's visit to Papua New Guinea will be the first ever by any Indian Prime Minister. In the nation, the Prime Minister will host the third summit of the Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation. This will kick off on Monday.
You've just landed at Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea on Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's second leg of his three-nation tour. After having packed a day-and-a-half session in Hiroshima, the 7.5-hour flight has brought us to the island nation of Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby, where we are currently just looking at the arrival ceremony. A very special gesture by Prime Minister Marape here, who has come personally to the airport to receive Prime Minister Modi. Tomorrow he is here only for the morning session, but the specific pre-summit will be in the morning, apart from bilateral meetings with the leadership of Papua New Guinea, as well as with the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
बहुत खुश हैं मोदी जी यहाँ पे आए और हम चाह रहे हैं कि पापुआ न्यू गिनी और इंडिया का जो है रिलेशनशिप और बढ़िया हो और इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट में डिजिटलाइजेशन के फ्रंट में इट इज अ ग्रेट अचीवमेंट फॉर अस दैट ही हैज कम वी आर ऑनर्ड प्रिविलेज्ड एंड थैंक यू मोदी जी मजा आ गया यहाँ
We would like to welcome Modi ji to PNG. We love you and we hope that PNG will develop like India. Thank you.
He is a selfless leader. He is a global leader. And his
Path and lights.
Welcome back. You're watching the morning news on CNN News 18. And the next story that we have is an update from the Hooch tragedy that took place recently a few days ago, wherein days after the horrific Hooch tragedy in Tamil Nadu, opposition parties have upped the ante against DMK government. After BJP's massive street protests, AIA-DMK's General Secretary Edapadi K. Palanisamy will corner the Stalin government with a statewide protest today against the tragic deaths and government's inaction. Yesterday, BJP delegation met Governor R.N. Ravi and submitted a memorandum to ban Tasmac outlets and illegal liquor, and also demanded Senthil Balaji's dismissal from the Council of Ministers. Now remember, the Hooch tragedy claimed 22 lives in Tamil Nadu's Villupuram and Chengalpattu districts last week. A month after the Pooch terror attack and ahead of the G20, CNN News 18 tracks to the terror cave and the forest hideout of terrorists who allegedly attacked the Pooch army truck. Now, the cave of terror is being shown for the first time on national television. Have a look.
It's been a month since terrorists attacked an army truck, but in Bhimber Gali on the Poonch highway, the scars of it can still be seen and felt. At the Gursai Moda village in Jadawala Gali, Mendhar Poonch, a secret hideout of the terrorists was busted. The village is in a high security zone, yet terrorists managed to infiltrate here for days before the attack. CNN News 18 went looking for the terror cave. We have come up this hillock, a mini hill, so to say, and climbed about 5 kilometers from the highway. So you got to know the topography of this area absolutely well, be an expert climber, and we just have our microphone and one small bag. Imagine the terrorists traversing this entire path with their AK series rifles, with their rucksacks, which also carries their supplies. So obviously they have been trained to navigate this stretch repeatedly. Only then could they come from the hideout and carry out such a meticulous attack on the highway. This rocky structure actually holds the mouth of a cave. This is the cave which was working as a hideout of the terrorists who allegedly carried out the attack on the truck in Poonch. The SOG members, the local cops are here with me. Sir, आप लोगों को इसके बारे में क्या जानकारी है? अभी तक कितने लोग छुपे हुए थे यहाँ पे?
यहाँ 3 से मैम 4 बंदे जो हैं, ये जो सामने दिख रहा है आपको हॉल, हाँ। इसके अंदर जगह है, तो उसमें जो है वो रहे।
अपने पूरे असले के साथ क्या क्या लेके, खाना पीना सब यही था उनका?
ये जो है सामने ये पॉलीथीन पड़े हुए, यहाँ जो सब्जी वगैरह थी ये उनकी अंदर से ही।
The police has found out, what the investigators have found out, is that the terrorists could actually sit inside. At least there is enough space for 3 to 4 of them to sit inside. You can see now, the man has gone inside. The policeman who was probing it has gone inside completely. He's not even visible anymore. If you see the side, Umesh, if you can show it the side, this is the length of this cave-like structure. This is the depth of it. From the other end, the torchlight is being shown. And that is the depth. So that's why they are saying that 3 to 4 terrorists can actually use this natural hideout. Just below the hideout, not even 5 meters below, the police has found one more cave opening. This is the cave opening, and it's much deeper than the one that we found earlier. Inside this cave, a mattress-like structure was found, obviously being used by somebody to spend the night because it's rocky inside. This was used as the guard duty, because just see the view from here. Umesh will find it difficult to turn around. He's just sitting on a perch, but if you can, Umesh, just see the view from here. It's bird's eye view of the entire valley. Gursai Mora village residents Nisar, Mushtaq, Bilal and Fareed have been arrested for allegedly helping terrorists. Bilal, a minor, allegedly helped the terrorists navigate the YSMS app, which helps you with navigation but escapes tracking by Indian agency. Nisar allegedly was present at the spot when the truck was attacked, and the other 2 OGWs helped with arranging food, logistics, etc. as per probe officials. Their families, though, claim innocence.
10th क्लास में इस साल रहमत में लगा है, 17 साल 2 महीने का उसकी।
तो वो तो कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे कुछ गलत लोगों के संगत में वो पड़ गए थे।
क्या बता फिर, मुझे नहीं पता, मुझे कोई मालूम नहीं क्या है क्या नहीं, उन्होंने कोई मालूम नहीं, उन्होंने क्या पता, कोई पता नहीं, हमारे को कोई नहीं पता, इस घर में कोई पता नहीं।
कभी आप लोगों को कभी कुछ लगा कि कुछ गलत लोगों के साथ उठ बैठ रहे हैं या मोबाइल पे कुछ गलत देख रहे हैं?
मैंने इधर से वो कुरान होता है ना, वो उठा कर ना, मैंने वो उसके ऊपर हाथ लगा कर देखा था। अगर मैंने कोई ऐसा बंदा गलत इन्हें आंखों से देखा होगा जाके इधर कहीं,
कुरान शरीफ
की कसम।
So who's moving on the Mughal road, which is along this way? Who are the people who are coming here? Every person is being thoroughly checked, frisked, and only then being allowed to go. The establishment is confident that the G20 will go off without any kind of hitch, but no chances are being taken. From BG with Umesh Sharma, this is Arunima.
Well, that's all for this segment, but do stay tuned for more news and updates through the day right here on CNN News 18.